Hello, friends. As I continue to glide along the peaceful waters of the Indus River, it's hard to believe that this very river, which once nurtured one of the greatest ancient civilizations, may have also played a part in its decline. Today, we are going to explore one of the most intriguing mysteries of the ancient world, the decline of the Indus Valley civilization. This vibrant and advanced society, with its remarkable cities, ingenious urban planning, and thriving trade networks, began to fade around 1900 BCE. What caused the downfall of such a powerful civilization? As we move forward along this ancient river, let's uncover the possible reasons for its decline. The decline of the Indus Valley civilization wasn't a sudden event, but a gradual process, one that took centuries to unfold. As I float on the calm waters, I can't help but think about how the once thriving cities of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro slowly fell into decay. There is no single cause that can be pinpointed for this decline. Instead, historians and archaeologists believe that a combination of factors may have led to the eventual collapse of this great civilization. One of the most widely accepted theories revolves around changes in the environment. The Indus River, which had once provided the lifeblood for the people who lived here, may have shifted its course. Rivers, over time, have a tendency to change their paths due to natural factors like tectonic activity, floods, or the accumulation of sediments. If the Indus River or its tributaries moved away from the major cities, it would have deprived them of the vital water needed for irrigation, drinking, and trade. Without a reliable source of water, agriculture would have suffered, leading to food shortages and a decline in urban life. As I paddle gently along, I'm reminded of how critical water is to the survival of any civilization. The river I'm riding on may have been the key to the prosperity of the Indus Valley people. But as the river's course changed, it may have become their undoing. Droughts, brought on by shifting monsoon patterns or long-term climate changes, could have compounded the problem. With less water available, the rich agricultural lands that once supported the cities may have dried up, forcing people to abandon their homes in search of better living conditions. Another possible cause for the decline of the Indus Valley civilization is the collapse of its trade networks. This civilization was deeply connected to other regions, particularly Mesopotamia, through long-distance trade. Goods like cotton, beads, and pottery flowed out of the Indus cities, while luxury items like lapis lazuli and silver were brought in. However, around the same time the Indus Valley civilization was declining, the great cities of Mesopotamia were also facing disruptions. Trade routes may have become less reliable, reducing the flow of goods and wealth into the Indus cities. Without trade, the urban centers that had grown wealthy through commerce may have started to falter. As I imagine the bustling trade routes that once existed along the riverbanks, it becomes clear that the decline of trade could have had a devastating impact on the cities. The merchants and artisans who had thrived on the exchange of goods would have struggled to survive without a steady influx of resources. Economic stagnation may have set in, leading to a gradual breakdown of the social and political order. Internal factors may have also contributed to the decline of the Indus Valley civilization. Some scholars suggest that social or political instability could have weakened the cities from within. Perhaps there were conflicts between different communities or regions. The Indus Valley civilization was notable for its lack of monumental architecture dedicated to kings or rulers, which suggests a more egalitarian society. However, this may also mean that there was no strong centralized authority to maintain order during times of crisis. Without a unified leadership, the cities may have been unable to respond effectively to environmental or economic challenges. One of the most intriguing theories about the decline of the Indus Valley civilization involves the arrival of new people, possibly the Aryans. Around the same time that the civilization was weakening, new groups of Indo-European-speaking people began migrating into the region. While there is no clear evidence of violent conflict between the Indus people and the newcomers, the arrival of these groups may have disrupted the existing social and economic order. Over time, the culture and traditions of the Indus Valley people may have been absorbed into those of the new arrivals, leading to the gradual disappearance of their distinct civilization. As I continue my journey down the river, I can't help but think about the resilience of the Indus Valley people. Even in the face of environmental changes, declining trade, and social challenges, they managed to survive for centuries. The cities didn't disappear overnight. Rather, they slowly transformed as people adapted to new circumstances. Some may have migrated to smaller villages or other regions, while others continued to live in the crumbling remains of their once great cities. Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, which had once been the centers of trade, culture, and politics, became shadows of their former selves. The grand structures that had once stood proudly in these cities, like the Great Bath, the granaries, and the elaborate houses, began to fall into disrepair. Streets once filled with merchants, artisans, and traders grew quiet. The once bustling cities became ghost towns, and eventually they were abandoned altogether. The decline of the Indus Valley civilization remains one of history's greatest mysteries. There is no single answer to the question of why this advanced society faded into obscurity. It was likely a combination of environmental, economic, and social factors that led to the gradual decline. As I float along the Indus River, it's clear that this river, which gave life to a great civilization, also witnessed its slow and an inevitable decline. In our next episode, we'll take a closer look at the rediscovery of the Indus Valley civilization. For centuries, the cities of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro were forgotten, buried beneath layers of earth and time. It wasn't until the 19th and 20th centuries that archaeologists unearthed the remains of this lost civilization, piecing together the story of the Indus Valley through the artifacts and ruins they found. We'll explore how the discovery of these ancient cities transformed our understanding of early human history and gave us a glimpse into the lives of the people who once lived here. For now, as the river carries me forward, I leave you with the thought of a civilization that thrived for thousands of years, only to be slowly undone by forces beyond its control. But even in its decline, the legacy of the Indus Valley civilization endures, through its cities, its innovations, and the stories we continue to tell about this remarkable chapter in human history.